never shut up. Yo, what is up, AD Austin Dunn. I'm back again with another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some calisthenics muscle building mistakes that a lot of people make. I've been talking about building muscle with calisthenics for a very long time now, and every time I make these videos, I think of like something new and useful that somebody else could probably reference and take. So through my experience, let's talk about some of the things that are not going to help you build muscle if your thing is to, build muscle and strength with bodyweight training. The first one is too much static and freestyle training. So static training is isometric based training, such as doing handstands, planches, front levers. Freestyle training is something that I never do, but what that is doing different dynamic moves like 360 muscle ups. Those are not going to build you that much muscle, if any at all, right? A lot of people always ask me, hey, does static training build muscle? And I tell them, like, not really. You're better off doing reps and sets, right? That's where your mentality wants to be. Reps and sets. You can do all that other stuff at the beginning of your training, which I teach in my calisthenics program, right? So that you can learn how to do that. Or if you want to do freestyle, do that after you're done training, after your reps and sets, or do it on a rest day, right? Because I do realize some people enjoy it and it is fun for them, but it's not going to be the best thing when it comes to building muscle for you, all right? All right, the second mistake is that a lot of calisthenics athletes have zero concept of overloading and how to do it with bodyweight training the right way. So let's take, for example, the dip, right? A lot of people, they'll start out, they can only do 10 or so dips. Now, after a few months, what do you keep doing, right? You keep doing the same thing, you keep doing dips? No, if you want to build muscle, you have to overload. And the way you overload is by changing up a variation, making it harder, or adding weight to yourself. Now, if you want to build more muscle instead of strength, then I recommend adding weight to yourself. So how do we do that? Weight vest or a weight belt. My preferred method is a weight belt depending on the exercise. Don't get in the mentality of, okay, I just have to do more reps of this, or I really can't change or progress the variation. That's not true, guys, especially you beginners and intermediates out there. This is where you're gonna see the most change is by changing up the variation and or the weight that you add to yourself. Now, once you reach an advanced level like myself, then it does get a bit harder to overload, and that's when like hybriding comes into play, such as using weightlifting and different stuff that we're going to talk about in the next point to kind of target your muscles in a different way. But don't forget, like, think to yourself, how can I make this harder? How can I overload it? And don't be doing too many reps. All right, so when it comes to building muscle, you got two aspects, right? You have your training, which we've been talking about, and you have a point that a lot of calisthenics people forget, diet. So even when I first started off my journey, my transformation, I always knew that diet would play a big part into how I would actually look. So it depends on what you're going for. Some calisthenics people just care about getting stronger, so they kind of neglect their diet. But for me, I wanted to get stronger and I wanted to look amazing. So what did I do? I took a focus in my diet just as much as I did my training. I created a lot of full day of eating videos, right? So you can kind of see how my diet has been approached, how I always get in my protein. I have a high protein diet. I keep aware or sometimes even track my calories, right? And I use supplements. That's another thing about it too, is a lot of calisthenics athletes don't use supplements, right? But I feel like it goes hand in hand with diet, especially if you need like some extra protein, or you want to take advantage of something such as creatine, which is a widely studied supplement that has been proven to help with muscle building, right? So I've been using supplements for over 3 years now, and the sponsor of this video is actually MyProtein, my supplement sponsor. I've been using them for a minute now. I love all of their products, especially their Clear Whey isolate and their other protein products. Now, one of my favorite things I would say is their protein snacks. So I tend to have a guilty pleasure of, eating snack food, and I know that can be very, very hard in regards to, keeping track of your diet, but MyProtein has made it easy, especially for me, right? I love the protein chips, and like I said, I use pretty much everything that they have to offer to supplement my diet. Now, according to how your diet is, you'll find a place for supplements, but if you want to take advantage of my protein products, which are the best you can find on the internet, especially for the price, then definitely click the link down below in the description where you can use my code AustinNYP for 45% off. I've already put a lot of my friends on it, and they're kind of surprised on how big of a discount they can actually get through using my code. Like literally 45% off supplements and clothing too. So if you want to take advantage and add that to your diet, which is going to help you build more muscle, then definitely be sure to check that out. But overall, do not neglect your diet at all, guys. Super, super important alongside with your workouts. All right, guys, the last calisthenics muscle building mistake is not including isolation training within calisthenics. Now, don't get me wrong, calisthenics is mostly compound, right? Every single movement we do, where we're working multiple muscle groups. But if you want to take your physique to the next level and build even more muscle, you got to include some isolation training. And you can still do it with bodyweight training. You're just going to need a bit of resources. The first one being rings. Rings is a great tool in order to do more isolation with your body weight. Some examples include ring flies. You can do it with your chest. You can do it reverse ring flies targeting the rear delts. Those are one of my favorites. You just got to figure out how your body can work, right? Even if you have to get some bands. So let's say you want a little bit more upper chest, grab some resistance bands that are actually used in calisthenics a lot for the progressions and all that, right? Grab some bands and figure out some isolation exercises you can do for your upper chest, your medial delt, stuff like that. So that's where I feel like my physique has changed the most. It was after my 2-year mark. A lot of people were actually encouraging me to do more isolation because I had some lagging body parts. And once I did that, it took my physique to the next level. So don't forget about isolation training. And even if you want to hybrid it up, mix weightlifting into it, you can do that too, which I'm going to show you guys how to do that one day. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss out on that, all right? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Those were the calisthenics muscle building mistakes. Don't forget to check out MyProtein, all the supplements down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.